How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Lucas here from Team NOCO, guys, and today we have a deck profile. Now, I finally got the cards I needed for my deck, guys, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over my, we're going to be going over my Orcust deck profile. This is my pure Orcust that I was running the past few weeks, and it's actually been a really good deck, but my concern is I'm trying to figure out when that 2020 Banlist hits, because when it hits, I gotta take a look at my deck and figure out what's gonna get hit, what's gonna get banned, and what's probably gonna get put to maybe semi-limited or limited. But anyways, guys, hope you guys are excited for this deck profile. I haven't uploaded in like 2 weeks. I want to apologize. I've just been stressing a lot trying to get a second job going, so that's why. And the reason why I'm talking like this is because I got a bit of a dry throat, a bit of a sore throat, so my voice might sound a little bit cracky, but other than that, guys, hope you guys are excited for the deck profile, guys, and if you do want to see more profiles and more videos in the future, definitely let me know in the comment section down below. Also, let me know what card in the comment section down below. Let me know down there, what card do you think you guys are going to see on the 2020 ban list? Me, I'm probably going to see Sky Striker Mobilize Engage finally hit one or finally get banned. Like, I'm serious, like, that card has to either be put to limited or should be kicked out, because it's literally, it's a +3 every time you play it. Alright, so for my Orcust deck, guys, what I'm running for the Orcust monsters, I am running 3 Harpoor, because you're wanting to use it to, basically, like, you want to pitch it in the graveyard, or you want to summon it, and then, like, have something in your hand to, like, ditch another Orcust monster and get that out on the field, and then just go out into Galatea, and then from there, just do your shenanigans. So I'm running 2 copies of Simple Skeleton. It's good to run it at 2. I could have ran it at like 3, but I like the 2 version a little bit better. I see some people try and run it like just with 1, and I'm like, nah. So I like running 2 because it basically can retarget my Galatea in the graveyard, special it back if I have Babel on the field. Or I can just use it just to target a main Orcust in my graveyard except Skeleton and special it back. So yeah, it's kind of like your Monster Reborn or your Call of the Haunted for Orcust. And then we are running 3 copies of Nightmare. Now, I could be running 2 like I normally do, but this card is pretty dang stupid, because you can basically try and special it out into the field by using like Harpoor. And the first effect I like about it is the fact that it can't be destroyed by a Link monster that's battling it. So, if you have it in defense and your opponent only has a Link monster, you're secure. But the other thing I like about it is its other effect is that you banish it from your graveyard and send a dark monster from your deck to the graveyard, and the monster that you target with the effect gains 100 attack to the level. So that's why World Wand comes in hand. I ran 1 World Wand. I could swap out a Nightmare and run a 2nd World Wand, but then that means that I would have to swap out 2 cards in my spells and put in like trade-ins, because World Wand is a level 8, but this card can be pretty busted because you just banish it from your graveyard, target a Orcust monster in your graveyard, in your banish zone, and just special summon it. So it's a special here, a special there, and a special there. So yeah, that's the main Orcust engine I'm running with the deck. Then for the dangers, I am running 3 Mothman, 2 Choop, and 2 NOCO, because 1, I don't have my 2nd Nessie, 2, I was going to get 2 copies of Jackalope yesterday, but it slipped my mind, and plus I kind of needed a 3rd copy of a certain card you guys will see in the extra deck that you guys are going to be super happy to see. But I run I definitely like running the Mothman because he has the ability to where if you basically discard him for his effect, each player draws a card and discards a card. So for Orcust, you're hoping to get your stuff in the graveyard. Or for dangers, it's like, if you discard Choop or Such just off of his effect, then Such comes back, and then Choop will just target him and special him back. So yeah, the main builds I mainly can see is like Such, Nessie, Jackalope, and I don't know, like maybe him or maybe a Bigfoot or something. But yeah, that's the danger run-up I'm having until I can get my 2 copies of Jackalope and my 1 copy of Nessie. Other than that, that's what I ran. It was pretty good. I liked it. A lot of people didn't expect it. And then the single copies we're having is one copy of Dark Grepher, because if you have it in your opening hand, he's really good. He completely can blow games out of the water, because it's like, if you have him in your opening hand, and like maybe a Nightmare in your opening hand too with him, it's like, you easily got a full combo going. Just as long as your opponent like doesn't keep effects from going off in the graveyard. And then Armageddon Knight, just because, well, he says send a dark monster, so he's like, oh, send an Orcust. Boop! Send an Orcust, send Harp Horror. That's mainly what I use him for, is I mainly want to get Harp Horror in the grave as quickly as I can with Armageddon Knight, so I would use him and hope my opponent doesn't like ash it or something, because that can get pretty scary if your opponent tries to find ways to like keep you from doing that. Excuse me, guys. And then on to spells. For the spells, I'm running 2 Babel. Now, normally people like to run 1 copy of Babel, but I like running 2 because if one of these gets like banished because Cosmic Cyclone is a thing, then I always have a second one in the deck just in case. And even if they like Twin Twister it or something, it's like it has a built-in ability to where when it's in the graveyard, you just ditch a card and then add it back to your hand. So you're hoping to ditch an Orcust and just go off from there. And then I still need 1 more copy of this card, and I couldn't find it for the life of me, but I'm running a 2 copy of Orchestrated Return. This card is freaking stupid. It's basically, for younger players out there, it's basically Pot of Greed for Orcust. Because how it works is you target a Orcust on your field or in your hand, send it to the graveyard, and draw 2, which in my opinion is really good because this deck does like to draw certain cards in order to get their full combo going. But I only run 2 return, and it's not too bad. I could get a 3rd one. I would just have to find somebody to pick it up from, but that is the Orcust spells that I'm running. The other main spells that I suggest you guys run is 3 Called by the Grave. Super good card. It can target practically any monster in the graveyard, banish it, and then the rest of the turn the opponent cannot use monsters with that same name or that same effect for the rest of the game for the rest of that turn. So he can be pretty good, especially like going against mirror matchups. It's like you want to use this to target their Galatea or their Skellington or their Nightmare or their World Wand, so then that way they can't get any summons back onto their field. And then, let me scoot those out of the way for you. And then the other 3 I'm running that people were questioning me about is 3 copies of Limiter Removal, which most people out there were talking to me and they're like, why do you run 3 copies of Limiter Removal in Orcust? And my simplest answer was, well, the fact that I only use it for, now let me give you guys some examples. Like, I like using it for my level 4s and my level 3s because they can get pretty big off of it. If you have like 2 in your opening hand, 1 of these, 1 of that, and then like a way to keep your opponent from like playing a trap, it's like you got game 1. So I like using it to power them because there's nothing more funnier than seeing your opponent rage when they get smacked by a level 3 or level 4 per game. Like, that can get pretty dumb. Well, that and plus there's a lot of other monsters in my extra deck that are machine based that a lot of people are definitely going to see, and the reason why I run Limiter. But yeah, I run 3 copies of it. It's a super good card in my opinion. I don't know why any other Orcust player isn't running Limiter. It's pretty good. And then we're running 2 instant fusion because I have 2 fusion cards in here, which is Thousand Eyes Restrict. I could get Millennium Eyes Restrict, but the only problem is that Millennium Eyes, oh boy, Millennium Eyes is getting close to like 70 bucks a piece because its effect literally says, oh, you know the card Ash Blossom? Well, as long as I'm on the field, my opponent is not going to be able to activate it. So that's the reason why it's been going up, is because Orcust have been using that and finding a way to get around Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring a lot. So I mean, like using the Thousand Eyes Restrict, so I can just grab somebody's like Boral Sword or something like that and just take it for the win. Then the single traps, single spells is 1 Foolish and 1 Rhoda. Rhoda, you can add your Dark Grepher or your Armageddon Knight. And then Foolish, basically because you're trying to literally dump your deck into your graveyard and then have your Orcust go off if you have Babel on the field. And then for traps, guys, I ran 3 Hand Trap, 3 Impermanence, really good card. Especially for an Ultra, it's like this card's actually starting to go up like 30, 40-ish. But then you look at the Secret Rares and they're starting to go up into like the 60s. So the Secrets are about the same. The Ultras are slowly starting to creep up a bit. So if you guys don't have any of this card yet, you guys need to get it. This card is absolutely good. It's super good to where if you have no cards on your field, you can activate it from your hand. and what it does is it negates the opponent's monster effect till the end of the turn, but if you have it set and you activate it, then any spell or trap behind that monster that's in the same column as it will be negated till the end of the turn. So Impermanence is a really dumb card. Just like this one right here. 3 Crackdown, or as many people like to know it as, 3 Snatch and Steal. Because Crackdown, what better way to like grab your opponent's big dude and just use it for like one of your own links? That's the reason why I like running Crackdown. I could swap it out for like something else, but I just like using it because I don't have mind controls, and Crackdown is a pretty decent trap because it keeps the monster from activating its effect and keeping it from attacking, and plus you mainly want to use this card to like grab their links and just get your own big links out. And then finally I run 2 copies of Orcust Crescendo because when you use it, it basically has to only go off when you have an Orcust Link monster on the field. So when you activate it, it negates the effect of a spell trap or monster effect, banishes it, and then its second effect, which you can't use in the same turn, you have to use it on your next turn, is you banish it and basically target one of your banished Orcust or one in your deck, and you can add it to your hand or special it to the field. So I see people running like 1 Crescendo and 1 Babble, but I like running 2 because, like I said, if Red Reboot does something, if Royal Decree does something, if they're playing like Dark Bribe or something, if they're finding ways just to get rid of this card, then I have a second copy just in case. And then on to my extra deck, guys. Ooh, excuse me. Maybe my throat's acting up. But for the links, guys, I am running 2 copies of Galatea, 1 Long Gear Suit, and 1 copy of Orchestron for the Orcust run-up. I could be running 3 Galley, but because of the third card I had to add in here, I run 2 of her, plus she's good at 2. Long just because he has that built-in Dingirsu effect to where he shuffles 2 banished banished machine monsters back into the deck and sends a card the opponent controls to the graveyard. But this one right here I've been messing around with a lot, Orchestron, is because his effect that I really like about it is the fact to where you target 3 banished machine monsters, shuffle them back, and then all linked monsters your opponent controls have their effects negated, and they have their attack and defense dropped to 0. So Orchestron can easily get you that win. And then Galatea, because obviously she's going to try and look for Babel, or she's going to try and look for Crescendo, or probably Return. And then this combo's pretty busted. Phoenix, Unicorn. You want to have Phoenix connected here, and then have Unicorn there, and then boom, you have co-link, so you're easily drawing card off here, and then Unicorn just because he bounces stuff back to the deck, which can be pretty good. These 2 cards I definitely won a lot of matches with, especially Trisbania, because even though Orcust gets banned, it's like Orcust doesn't really care, because Orcust can find ways to grab it back into the deck. So I ran Trisbania because she basically burns the opponent 500 for every card banished, if something's special here or here to her zone, or in front. And then everybody knows this card because it's a really good link to use in Orcust is Topologic Zeroboros. Because the way he works is neither player can special anything there, or there. And if somehow they manage to, Zeroboros basically banishes himself and all other cards on the field. And then he comes back to the field and he gains 200 attack for every card that's been banished. So you know how your extra monster zone's right here? And like normally he'd be up here. So when the board gets banished, you want to basically special summon him right there in the middle. So now if your opponent tries to link summon here or here, it basically keeps them from getting their board out unless they want to get blown up again. But that was one of the better ones. And then Boral Sword, just because everybody knows your OTKs, your cut attack in half and just gain it as his own. Yeah, okay, so we're here to the XZs, guys, and I don't know if you guys are ready for this. You ready? So not 1, not 2, 3 freaking ultimates of Dingirsu, the Orcust of the Evening Star. I finally got all 3 of them. Yes, you guys can now see they're actually ultis. They're not like ultras, just in a really weird shiny color because of the sun. No, these are ultis. A funny story, so I had 3 ultras that I wasn't really using. I needed to get ultis, so these 2 here I picked up from my friend, what was his name? Johnny, down in Denver at his store. And then my friend Jack had an extra one in his binder, so I picked that up off him. So now I got a playset of ulti Dingirsus, and Dingirsu, the one thing you guys gotta know about this card is every time it's special summoned to the field, it either sends a card the opponent controls to the graveyard or targets a banished machine and puts it under him as a material. So using him, it's like his other effect is you detach material from him, and basically him and other Orcust monsters you have on the field won't be destroyed by battle or card effects that turn. So Ding is definitely a big goof. Then I run one copy of number 60, Dugaris. Now, what Dugaris does, and this is a really funny thing that you guys are going to see, it's a combo I noticed a while ago, is I had it like that, and so what I did is use Dugaris, I detached 2 materials, I target Dingirsu, his attack is doubled, so now he's sitting at 5,200, then I use Boral Sword to swap Dugaris into defense, because at this point, you know, his attack is not that good. He's swinging twice, so he's already swinging for 6k, or plus whatever he's grabbing. And then Dingirsu is just one-shotting people left and right, unless if like you have like Limiter in your hand, then you can be really nasty with it. But yeah, I run one Dingirsu because, one Dugaris because it's pretty solid. And then finally those 2 copies of Thousand Eyes Restrict, because you are running the copies of Instant Fusion. And then my little play token of me, because why not? I look really goofy in this photo. 200th YCS. Oh yeah, same place I got the playmat. Yeah, so Jack is right there. He's the one that got that ulti Dingirsu for me. And then my friend Kevin, on the other hand, golly, I haven't seen him in like over a few months, but he went up there with us, and oh my gosh, guys, best time ever. If you guys have never been to a YCS and you guys want to go to it, I suggest you go, because they are absolutely amazing. And now, gonna go on to the side deck, because why not? So other than that, we do have 2 Primal Being tokens, because of course, in the side deck, and this is what you guys are gonna like seeing, is for the side we are running a 2 Nibiru, because a lot of decks out there do a lot of special summoning, and you want to have a asteroid ready to just blow it out of the water, give him a really tiny token, and then boom, one-shot him with it. 3 copies of John Cena, or Dino Wrestler Pancreatops, because it's a real good special, it's an instant special summon if your opponent has obviously a monster and you don't. So it's like Cyber Dragon. And his other effect is you can target himself, send him to the graveyard, and then target a card the opponent controls and blow it up too. So he's pretty good with that too. I mainly use him to like get into my Orcust plays. That's how I like get out Galatea and Longirsu pretty quickly, because I use him mainly to get them all ready. And then 3 copies of Crow. I do like Effect Veiler, she's decent, but with Called by the Grave already in here and Crow here, it can be pretty scary, because it's a dark monster first off, and its effect is you basically target a card in your opponent's graveyard, banish it, by basically discarding him. So he's basically a Called by the Grave, but it doesn't negate its effect, it just vanishes. So against a Sky Striker matchup, just use this on their Ray, their Kagari, their Shizuku, just to get their graveyard empty, so then that way they don't have any like plays and they end up scooping and going to game 3. And then I run 2 copies of Chaos Hunter. Now the one thing I like about this card is against Orcust players, they hate this card, because not only is it basically if your opponent special summons, so like say they have a Galatea, it's like, alright, so on summon a Galatea, you would say chain Chaos Hunter in hand, which means you discard a card, special him, and now your opponent cannot banish cards, but you still can, which is pretty scary. And I run 2 copies of him, and I went against 2 matchups, and 2 mirror matchups, and both were playing Orcust. And I got out Chaos Hunter on one of their turns, and they just scooped and they instantly went to game 2. So Chaos Hunter against Orcust, against any deck that like wants to use their graveyard, is a very scary card. But yeah, I ran 2 copies of it. It's really good. Plus it's also a level 7, so you can go into rank 7s if you want. And then the final 5 I have, guys, is 2 Scythe and 3 Sanctum, because your opponent's using their extra deck, you gotta find a way to keep them from basically summoning anything, especially with pendulums, because they can get pretty busted. You just use Artifact Sanctum on their turn, bring out Scythe. The one thing that I kind of don't like is like if I have Scythe in my opening hand, that can be a problem, so I just have to set him and then pray that my opponent blows it up on their turn, so then I special summon out a Scythe and then keep them from using their extra deck, which it can be pretty dumb, especially on Artifact Sanctum, because you activate it to get your Scythe out on their turn. But if your opponent blows it up, then its other effect is you basically target a card they control and blow it up if this card is destroyed by card effect. But yeah, anyways guys, that is the deck profile for Orcust. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys do want to see more deck profiles, let me know in the comment section down below. This video is going to be uploaded tonight. It's going to take a little bit longer than I expected, but who knows. It's definitely going to be something fun to mess with. Anyways guys, hope you guys are excited for the 2020 ban list, and of course guys, I'll see y'all in the next video.